Ah, the sun's rays are casting down light on me. I feel welcome. But do you know where the sun's rays are casting? The exact position. Today we are going to figure out how that works and how to find out where rays cast. So, I was looking through the CV2 experimental features, right? And I found this Raycast gadget. I wonder what it does. I looked through it, and this seems pretty confusing. I thought maybe we should figure out how to do this together as a whole family. So, basically, what the Raycast chip is going to do for you is it is going to find out where the exact point of a laser is. So say we're going to take my maker pen laser for example. It would pinpoint this exact point where it's hitting the wall. Moves, it would pinpoint it. That's what the Raycast would do. So we're going to start over on the left side. The start position is where the laser is going to start. So say we're actually going to get, let's see, what shall we get? We're going to get a trigger handle, because I feel like that's the most common. And we're just going to wire the trigger handle. Actually, we're going to get a get position. A get position chip is one of the most common things you will use for this raycasting chip itself, because obviously there's a start position. You're going to need a position. So we're going to wire that to there. We talked about vector 3s in the last video if you want to go watch that. Otherwise, it's fine. Just learn how to make raycasting in this video. So we're going to connect the vector 3 to the start position. We're going to grab the target. And our target is going to be the trigger handle. So now the start position for the Raycast will be at the trigger handle. Sorry about that lag. I don't know what's going on. It must be... We're going to delete that. Alright. So... Okay, now that we've deleted that very laggy, annoying stage, we are going to get to actually learning how the Raycast functions. So we've got it set so our start position is wired to wherever the trigger handle is, but it's not going to know which direction to face, where direction the laser is going to come out. It's going to come out all over the place because there's no direction for it. Last video we talked about vectors and how they do something with direction. But today we're going to use a forward vector, which is essentially just a vector. So what it's going to do is it's going to get the front-facing view of whatever object you want, and it's going to convert it to a vector 3. So we're going to convert that to the direction, and we're going to wire that to the trigger handle. So now, from the trigger handle, it's both going to get the starting position, which is the trigger handle, and the direction that the trigger handle is facing, so it knows which way the laser should be casting. Alright, so now we have the last thing, the max distance. I don't think this matters that much because it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're working with raycasting, I would recommend setting it to something like infinity. I don't know. Let's do infinity, because everyone loves infinity. Infinity is a good number, and I spelled it wrong. Make sure to never spell infinity wrong. Infinity. There you go. So now it's up there. Yes, infinity is a thing you can put as a float, by the way. It just means there's no limit to where it can go. So, hit is a true or false thing. So, I'm going to get a if. And as you can see, the hit, I can connect that to the false. And what it's going to do is if the laser that's coming out of the trigger handle hits anything, it is going to output true or false. So the player and the object are both also pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to tell you what object or what player is getting hit by the laser. So the distance is going to output how far away the thing that is hitting is. So how far away, say if there's a wall all the way back there and the laser hits it, it's gonna tell me like 100 meters or something that it's that far away. The hit position is gonna tell you the exact vector of where the laser hit. So if I hit it on the wall, like my example last time with the wall, give me a second. It's going to put a laser out, and it's going to tell me the exact position of where that laser hit. So, for example, the cube would be the vector that outputs over to here. So, the surface normal is something that probably won't be used a lot in your projects unless you're doing something where you want the object to, be super complex or whatever. But basically what it's going to do is it's going to tell you the vector 3 of the surface and tell you if it's, normal in vector 3 form, obviously. So, how can we use this in a project? Well, the Raycast is probably one of the most useful things for stuff like making portal guns and just laser guns or lasers, stuff like that. Anything like that. Oh, guns too. Raycast guns. So that's actually what we're going to do. We are going to make a gun. So this will be our trigger, obviously. We are going to get a little, pistol type thing. Gonna make that decorational. We're gonna get a clamp just so these two stick together. There we go. Now we have our makeshift gun. Now we're gonna want it. We're gonna wire it. So if I press the trigger on the trigger handle, it's gonna check which player it's hitting and do damage to it. We don't have players here though. So what I am going to do is I'm going to do an object, and we're going to combine that with the vector 3 and the velocity that we learned from last video. So whenever it hits an object, with the gun hits an object or the laser hits an object, and I click trigger with the trigger handle, it's going to add a velocity to the object and push it back basically. So a sort of gravity gun, I guess you could say. So we are going to get a cube, just an average normal cube. We are going to configure it and make it physical so it falls down. We don't need to make it grabbable, that's fine. So now we've got to make it so it applies velocity to it. So we're going to get add velocity. Let's see, where is it? Dang it, spelled it wrong. Velocity add, there we go. And then we're going to put that, just plop that down right there. So the target is going to be the object that the gun hits. When the trigger is pressed, it's going to add velocity to it. One thing I'd like to note is that for this we will need to do some more complicated things. So get all. This is basically going to get all objects with the tag. This is your only way to convert objects to CV2. So we're just gonna name this 1. Put that as a tag. Now we're gonna make it search for all with tag. And since the cube is the only thing with the tag, it's only gonna convert that cube into CV2, which is a good thing. So we're gonna wire that to the get element. The element is basically just gonna tell me whether it's a player or an object. So it's going to say rec room object. You can wire that to, let's see, what? Okay, so ignoring this for now, we've just placed that down just for so later. That's why we placed it down. We are going to get the forward vector for the direction. Whoops, the direction. And so when we're gonna make it so we're gonna get an if, so we already have that out. We're gonna grab that, and we're gonna make it so if the object that is pushed equals the object pushed equals this guy. Whoops. Clumsy me. If the object pushed or object aimed at equals this cube guy right here, then it is going to add velocity to it. Action handle pressed. We've got a weird gun now. It's come over here for a second. So as you can see, I'm not aiming at it, and it's not doing anything. But as soon as I aim at the cube, it's going to add velocity to it. So behind the scenes, what we're looking at here, let me just move our gun, fix it. What we're looking at here is actually an invisible ray that's going out of the trigger handle forwards, and it's checking, what am I hitting? If I hit something, what am I hitting? So, obviously you're hitting a cube, so I can spam it, and it's gonna hit the cube. So, just for a quick overview, what we did is we made a gun that when the trigger is pressed, it's gonna check if the object is equal to the cube. So the object that it hits is equal to the cube. We converted the cube into CV2 using this little thing. We made it so the trigger handle has its own position, and the Raycast knows its direction using these two. And this actually is not used. So there you go. There's your gravity gun, and there is your tutorial on raycasting. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something. Maybe you didn't, maybe you're just here for fun. Anyway, thank you for choosing me as your raycaster teacher. Thank you for tutorialing with me. Bye.